let's just get the main point out of the way. It's not the ref's fault. It's not the VAR's fault. It's not the VAR assistant's fault or Max Kilman's fault. It's IFAB and FIFA and the people who make these silly rules that mean that anytime the ball hits your hand like that, it's a penalty. And in open play, as soon as it looked even remotely like it was going to be given, it was going to be given, because that's just 2021, really. But despite that, that shouldn't be the talking point of the game. The talking point should be, yet again, how we didn't turn up in the first half of a game against a team who played twice since the last time we played 9 days ago, and we looked like we hadn't played together for, again, a month.
How many times can we say that we're disappointed when we shouldn't be saying we're disappointed? To think how far we've come as a team, let's just get that straight first of all. I don't think any real fan is ever sort of saying they're disappointed, and let down. We are just expecting a lot more nowadays, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe the problem is that we've, risen so far so quickly that we've all had a taste of what we know we can have and expect it sort of week in, week out. Today was exactly what it always is, that classic game of two halves. And I'm getting a little bit bored of it. I thought the whole point of this new season with some of these new signings was the ethos was going to be very much about possession football as opposed to counter-attacking football, and certainly, putting games to bed earlier on. We did that against Palace, and it's brilliant. It's a revelation, again, against Sheffield United at the start of the season. But it just doesn't happen enough. And then we have games like today where Leicester are a fantastic team and they defended incredibly well today. But we needed to get more from that game.
Well, it's disappointing, it really is. After the performances against Palace and Newcastle, although the Newcastle result wasn't the result we wanted, Wolves looked better. They really did in those two games, and you're hoping that turned a bit of a page and we were going to go into this game and really compete. I thought that initially. I came into it with high hopes. I know Leicester have been on a great run, but no reason why we can't go there and get a point and even a win. But from the offset, they moved the ball quicker than us. They were better than us in every department, and we weren't at the races. We never looked like competing, never mind winning that game. And I am starting to get a bit frustrated with Nuno's style of play. It's when you're winning games, fine. When you're drawing and losing games, it's so restrictive and it's so negative. And we just need to take the handbrake off. And we've got some quality players in that side who are being restricted by the style of play. We need to give them more freedom and more fluidity, and just take the handbrake off and have a go, because those kind of performances, although it was 1-0, aren't acceptable. That really not for a team who's pushing for European football. They should be going there and having a go and not setting up to nullify Leicester. We've got to go there and give them, play our game, and we didn't even do that today.
And it's just getting absolutely ridiculous now, where it's second half wanderers again, where there's no excuse for it, there's no need for it. When we showed in the second half and when we took the game to them, and it was fairly even, as it always is against Leicester. We did that in the first half. It could have gone either way, and we would have given ourselves a chance. But in that first half, we did absolutely all again. And there's no reason for it. And it's frustrating and annoying.
I'm not going to dwell on the penalty decision. It wasn't a penalty. I don't know what Kilman was meant to do with his arm. He was running. I also don't know why the referee viewed it in slow-mo, but that's the game we're watching nowadays, so whatever. Great save from Rui on the second pen. Some slight retribution there. Neves, fantastic strike. Even better save from Schmeichel. That was unlucky. But apart from that, there was no real moments to get too excited in front of goal, and here lies the problem.
But the big kind of question mark and statement about that game was the shocking VAR decision. Well, Anthony Taylor's decision. Now, he's obviously a referee who's extremely incompetent and can't do his job. There's no other explanation. I do feel a little bit sorry for him in that regard, because he's clearly struggling. To go to the monitor and not watch it in full motion, in full speed, and to give a penalty is ludicrous. And heads should roll, but they won't. And even when the chief of VAR is saying it's not a penalty, that's when question marks need to be asked around corruption and just who can do the job and who can't, because it's week in, week out. Premier League referees are making calamitous decisions, calamitous mistakes, and it'll happen next week with another team, and it'll carry on and carry on. It's got to stop. the officiating in this country is abysmal, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that Wolves were really, really poor today. And they've got to improve. They have to improve, because if they want European football, you've got to be getting results at teams like Leicester. Have to. Simple as that.
And you try and rate everyone, and on the balance of play, you're probably looking at Neto, which I don't know why he was taken off. Neto with a 7, and the rest milling around a 5 or 6. And that's been generous. It's just, the first half performance is unforgivable again. Second half, a bit better, but that's what we expect now. But again, they played Thursday night. There was absolutely no need for that. It's just annoying.
We can't really be too disheartened. Leicester are a fantastic team, and I would not be surprised if they really are genuinely competing for the title again. But it would be nice if we were at least getting that point at the King Power. Anyway, we move on to the next one. Southampton after the break, and we keep fighting as always. Come on, Wolves.